Hey boy, what you doing? Hey, come here, Maverick. Okay, you go play with your stick, buddy. You go play with your stick, and I'll show everybody what I did to my Jeep. It's been heating up in traffic lately, so I decided I'm gonna install a fan override switch, which will make my electric fan come on whenever I flip the switch. The switch right now is right down there for the time being. This is not the permanent location. It's just for testing purposes. You hear that? Fan's on. Yeah, fan's off. I think what I'm going to do, the rear wiper doesn't work, and I really don't care if it does or not, so I think I'm going to use that switch to make my fan come on. Anyways, I'll show you what I did. I wired this up with a wiring harness for a light bar, and the reason it's all back here on the firewall is because this particular wiring harness was for a vehicle that has the battery on the passenger side, which is of course where my airbox is. And I don't have an opening in my firewall on the passenger side that I can use to put the wire for the switch through. So we throw over here on the driver's side. I had already I had to knock out a plug that was right here. You can knock them out real easy. You can knock them out with a screwdriver and a hammer or whatever, you know. Anyways, put a rubber grommet in there. You can see that. And I've got a couple of different things in there. One of these is for my fog lights. One's for my fan that I just hooked up. And the other is vacuum line for my vacuum gauge. This is a limited trim Cherokee. So it came with the factory fog lights. Unfortunately, there was some electrical issues. The fog lights were physically broken, so I replaced them with LEDs. I tried to use the factory wiring, but it was just so messed up that I couldn't use it. I ended up having to replace the switch, and the wiring was just burnt up. So I used a wiring harness for a light bar, which got that wired in right here. And let's see, here's the relay for it, and the rest of the wiring going around my firewall. And anyways, like I showed you, it goes in through my firewall right there. So anyways, what I wanted to talk to you about today is my fan override switch. So anyways, I've got my relay right there. Got my fuse right here. Of course, it's grounded right there where the ground strap for the engine is. Put a 30 amp fuse in there because the electric fan is on a 30 amp circuit. So I'd like to have the fuse a little closer to the fuse box, but well, this is where it was in this light bar harness, so that's where it's going to stay. I did have to extend the power wire right around through here And I've got it going to the terminal on my fuse block. And come around through here, the wire that would usually go out to the light bar, I've got it run underneath all of this, under my air box, under my radiator cap, and coming out right here. As you can see, I didn't use the ground wire because the fan is already grounded. I tapped into the hot wire for the fan with one of these little vampire clips. I'll show you why it's called a vampire clip, or why I call it a vampire clip. That might not be the technical term for it, but it's got this little tab right here. You can see it's got a couple little slots in it, and you push that down and it just like taps into the wire. You know, it like bites into it like a vampire, and close that over top of it. Put your wire in right here that you want to tap into the existing wire, and your existing wire goes in right there where the little slot is. Anyways, I don't really like using those things, but sometimes that's just the easiest way to go. So anyways, like I said, got me a override switch now. Sitting in traffic, it starts to get hot. The computer will turn it on at I don't know, 215, 212, something like that, but I can turn it on right here whenever I feel like it. And if I'm doing some you know, low speed off-road stuff where the clutch fan is not being engaged a lot, I can turn the E-fan on and it'll cool it down just fine. Anybody that says I should just do away with the clutch fan, which is over here, and put in like a dual E-fan setup, I'll tell you, the clutch fan pulls a lot more air than the E-fans do. So it just makes sense to keep that in place. Your factory setup is usually the best. The engineers really did know what they were doing, believe it or not. Anyways, I'm gonna flush my cooling system sometime soon. I did that a couple of years ago, and it worked out really good. It's been cooling really well. You know, like I said, it just heats up a little bit in traffic, and I'm thinking about putting in a timed relay system where the fan will stay running for about 3 minutes or so after I cut the engine off, and that'll pull a little extra air over the engine, especially right over on this side, you know, where you get a lot of problems with vapor lock due to heat soak, because it just cooks the fuel that's in your fuel rail, and it'll buck, snort, and kick like an ornery old horse that don't want to be rode. Anyways, I'll get back to you on that. But for right now, thanks for watching Appalachian Mechanic. Tune back in, and we'll see if Maverick's finished playing with his stick yet. Thanks for watching.